Rationale.
Yeah.
All right. And we are live from
going.
By the way, not planned. There was no forewarning. That's how we were going to be starting off. But Cherry Lady, how you feeling, Meow?
Was that feeling great? Let's go. Cool, awesome. Yeah. Anyway, like really fun to have everyone on. You know, like this is like really impromptu. I think, but this is a really impromptu session. You know, so really happy to have everyone and our special guest, Cash, is here as well. Thanks, Cash, for joining.
Hello. Feels good to be here. It's obviously a big day. Just finished up the Solana ecosystem call, which was nice. Thanks for moving this timing of this stream. I appreciate that, my friend. But more importantly, there's a gigantic proposal that is now live that people got to be thinking about, and the conversation has begun in earnest.
I feel like the main thing is this, right? It's like it's not about a proposal, right? I think throughout the whole week we've been planning for that, right? We started off with the audit, right? Which is really it's actually really fucking important because like think about it, right? If we do this proposal without doing the audit, right? That's kind of bullshit, right? You know why we're cutting anyway.
That goes back to like just trust me, bro. Like we're trying to get away from just trust me.
Exactly. I feel like the audio is really important, right? You know, and secondly, I think the essay was really important as well, just to kind of anchor like why we are doing certain things. You know, right? So audio was important, the essay is important, right? And now we're doing the proposal, right? I think all these things actually, and I think the whole synergy of it is actually really important, right? You know, and anyway, I think today I'll do a live stream because I think it's time to. I think we kind of did one live stream on the audit, and then we kind of did one live stream talking about the essay, right? You know, and it's time for the proposal right now. Yeah, cool. All right, so
third leg of the stool.
What's that?
I said it's nice. It's the third leg of the stool. So we talked at the community audit. Then you have the actual thinking behind the proposal and what's important, as Cryptic is saying, insightful and clearly straight from the heart. And now it's time to actually get into it. And yes, this is a surprise planetary call. Surprise to you, Bug Jason, and to me. I got the text 3 minutes ago. We're jumping on here, which is what
I'm like, Cash, come on, you gotta ask you.
Let's fucking go, dude. That's the way that we do it. So I know that the proposal got put up onto the JUP research forum. Should we go through it?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Let me just share the link here real quick and stuff so everyone can take a look. You know.
Sure.
All right, cool. All right. So I think I'm just gonna YOLO this. As always. Right.
What else?
Okay. So first of all, I think I encourage everyone to go through these different announcements, right? Different links here. There's the initial tweet that I sent. There was the committee audit. I strongly encourage you to do the audit. Okay. And then we have the ethos of the JUP, which is we talk about the core ideas of PPP and CAT, right? And also there's also some like really insightful comments around this yes and no, right? And so I think everyone should take a look at stuff. Cool. All right. So first of all, I think to anchor everything, right? We this is a series of 3 votes, right? The first vote is around the token reduction. The second vote is on Jupiter, and third is the ASR, right? So all these are considered J4J votes, and the whole goal is actually 3 things, right? To provide more certainty, alignment, and transparency. Okay. So again, doing something I always say, we do not do anything to pump the price. That's not the point, right? Or try it. No, that's not the point. Okay. No. The point of this is to really kind of get the whole community together to understand, to discuss, and to align on key things. Okay, so that's the point of the call. It's very important. So I think and for some context, right, we really started the whole tokenomics discussion late last year, right? So I think a lot of things were formed like before the Bitcoin, even before Bitcoin, right? So we had and then after obviously since Bitcoin and since the initial essay and since the JUP launch, we made slight modifications. But most of it was actually kind of based on a set of assumptions that was like done way back, you know?
Yeah.
And yes,
there were like hypotheses at the time, right? Like in the experimental mindset, it's like, hey, maybe this is the right way to go about it. But I mean, a lot has happened in the last 8 or 9 months, and so getting some more community input makes sense.
Yeah, I think, and certainly, I think, like for example, one big thing was a 50-50, right? So some things remain the same, right? I think late last year there was no 50-50 idea at Bitcoin, right? I think sometime and when we did the first essay, the 50/50 essay came out, the idea came out, right? And that's actually where this this cute cat came about, like Young cat came about, right? And then obviously in JUP we make some reductions and improvements to the whole for example, when we wrote the essay, we had 10% for LP needs, right? Which is reasonable, right? Like it's very reasonable. But then by the time when JUP launch happened, we only had 2.5% for that. Yeah. So so anyway, I need to take a look and stuff. So I think the whole point here is to so anyway this vote here is about updating the tokenomics, in terms of proposing a significant reduction in the token supply, and also to so I think the whole goal here is to cut away the fan tokenomics, but also make a major push for everyone to understand the proposed and token breakdown. Okay, and that's actually really important because like and that's actually why we did the audit and also the audit and also the essay, right? Because if we didn't do the audit essay, just jump right into this, it will be really missing the point, right? Yeah. Okay,
if
so
we're
anyway,
we're cutting out the supply, we need to know where the supply is right now. I think that makes total sense.
Right. So I think and how we were currently thinking about it, right? So anyway, and for the first vote, we propose 30% reduction, right? So from 10 billion to 7 billion. Okay, cool. And then following the 50/50 principle, which the team managers. Hey, by the way, guys, any comments you guys have, just drop it on YouTube or X, okay?
On Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, 50/50 principle. The team managed 50%, and the other 50% is earmarked for community, right? So we'll burn 1.5 billion from each portion, right? And by the way,
it's important to know.
Did you see how elegant this thing is?
It's one of those things that like simple principles make future decisions much easier, right? It's like, hey, if we're committed to the 50/50, because like you can imagine a world where all 30% was taken out of whatever, like the ecosystem fund or out of like the community treasury or some kind of nonsense like that. But you set up a simple principle and then boom, it moves forward.
Actually, one thing that I really don't like, right, is I don't like opaque setup, right? I don't like opaque setup, right? I like simple, elegant setups that give flexibility to execute, but at the same time transparent, right? Okay, this is what it is, like
it goes back to trust as well. I think it's hard to trust if you don't really know and you can't really see, and it's like, oh, you gotta do this weird calculus in your head. It's much easier to just like lean into it if it is simple like this.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it goes to the whole CAT thing, right? Certainty, alignment, transparency, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Anyway, as per the audit and stuff, this is like the breakdown of the there's the part the portion that's managed by the team, right? So you have the sorry, one quick. Yo, NXSN, I cannot pronounce it, but I love you. Thanks for
as do I. I was just in the DMs with NXSN earlier today. The best. Great researcher, by the way. People should definitely follow.
So great. Yeah, so great. Thanks so much. Yeah. But I think so this is distributed breakdown, right? And also this is the reserve breakdown, right? We had as you can see that, for example, we had we probably over allocated for the liquidity needs, right? And also and quite a lot of stuff. So anyway, following the cut, so basically I think after the cut, if the vote happens stuff, as I mentioned, the team will voluntarily cut the 30% of the allocation, because it's for alignment, right? Basically, I think if we propose a cut but we don't cut from the existing team, then it doesn't make sense, right? So we are volunteering a cut, and also cutting for a strategy reserve, and the LP needs will have a huge cut, right? Because again, we allocated a pretty significant chunk of tokens for LP needs, which was reasonable at the point of development, right? But now it's like, okay, we don't need
this plenty of liquidity. People are staking,
yeah, so we can actually just cut them, right? I'm saying. So I feel like the main thing here is to actually and obviously after the cut, there'll be this amount of tokens left in the for the team reserve. Yeah. And to be clear, I think so this will actually, so we think that this will actually be good for us, because we will actually be able to I think this will make us a lot more lean in many ways, and certainly, for example, and then but also give us a lot of room to play with, right, for the strategic reserve, which will be for like newer team members, or for acquisitions, or for strategic investments, right? And what's actually really, really important here, right, is that way before we use any part of the strategic reserve, we will actually tell everybody, like way in advance, right? This will happen, and this was going before, and everything, and we have to manage it really well. So I think this is part of the thing whereby it's a 50-50 thing, right? It's like the community has to trust that we will do our best, not to abuse any of these things, right? And then we in turn will actually do we in turn will actually do a lot as well, right? To try to keep the trust, because if the trust breaks, it's bad for everybody, yeah.
Makes sense. So then over on the community portion, this is the
question. Was that sorry? Go on.
Oh, no, go ahead, please.
So for the community portion, I think the main thing, the current breakdown is that like I think this is the current audit done as per the audit, right? So for the breakdown, right? It's like we'll be cutting the jubilaries will be down to the 30% will be cut from jubilaries, right? And also from the community reserve, right? So that's actually the main thing. So all jubilaries will be cut by 30% as well.
So there'll be fewer tokens given in each jubilary.
That's right. And by the way, jubilaries are also voted upon, by the way, right? And this is actually part of the major CAT exercise, right? Like any major emission that goes out from the community portion is voted by the community. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
So I think all these things actually let me take one big step back, right? I think the main thing is actually this. So the big I think let me take one big step back. One big reason why we are doing this thing in the first place, right, is because there's been a lot of feedback. So we have been hearing a lot of feedback, right? Like throughout the first 6 months, right, about the potentially high FTV, about the high emissions, and also they don't understand what, and also they don't understand how the tokens can be used, right? So over here, I think this is actually the point of this exercise, right? To kind of like, okay, number one, obviously reduce the FTV significantly, right? But secondly also to go like to give the community the control, over the major emissions, because as per the CEF thing, I think we have actually done a lot to make sure that from a team point of view there will be no supply shock. Make sense? You remember that, right?
Yeah. For people that maybe don't know like how supply shocks work, basically if a lot of supply comes onto the market at once and gets sold all at once, then you can imagine the token price drops pretty dramatically, and this is what you've seen in other cases. But now that the team is staking their first year cliff into governance, and Miao and Xiong, two of the co-founders, are not taking any tokens until whatever it was, June 2026, if I'm not mistaken. You avoid that kind of supply shock mechanism, right?
Yep. So I will just share that real quick and stuff so we can all get an idea of that what I'm talking about. Here we go. Yeah. So for example, right? So think about it, right? Our main goal is to avoid supply shock, right? Makes sense, to give certainty, right? So I think from a team point of view, right? This is what we are doing, right? We are committing. We are taking the first year cliff. Me and Xiong will commit to lock in all tokens vested, up to June 2026, right? Right? Also, most of our team members, to be clear, some team members willing to sell some vestings, right? Right, for their own needs, and that's good for them, right? Because they work really hard for many years. Okay, but they're also committed to locking up the major tokens. Make sense, right? So I think all this said and done is that I'm pretty confident there'll be no supply shock coming from the team.
Certainty. That's what that looks like. Yeah.
Right. But then on the other hand, so the supply shock will actually come from the the big emissions will probably come from the jubilaries.
Community supply shock, basically. But it's a different thing, I think, fundamentally, when it's a distributed airdrop. It's not just like a few concentrated people who might sell large chunks. This is what you see with a lot of VC unlocks for other projects as well. If it's more distributed, hopefully, people have more sense of like what's actually going to happen.
For sure. Right. Another thing is very simple, right? But as now, I think it's actually very important for the community to vote on it as well, for jubilary as well, right? I think that is ultimate, right? Because you have to voluntarily say, okay, I'm going to grow the pie. Make sense? So it's like, okay, and then if they don't want to, it's fine as well. We'll figure something out, right? Right, as well, right? But obviously, the community is okay. Hey, I want to grow the pie, right? And I think that giving it in an appropriate way to community members and stuff and users is a good group high. Make sense, right? And then we can all discuss how do we mitigate the effects and stuff. But anyway, but the whole point here is the whole point of these 3 votes is to end up in a state whereby, okay, the whole community understands the current setup, they understand what's going on, they're aligned on what to do. Even if they don't agree, end of the day there's a vote, right? Who to align, right? But most importantly and stuff is that, okay, we're all extremely transparent what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. I might ask 2 questions that I think I've seen other people have as they go through this. So the first one is on the proposal with the cut for the JUP-related. As you mentioned, there's going to be a DAO proposal on how many JUP-related to have in whatever, a few weeks' time. If that fails, let's say that there's no JUP-related, any further JUP-related, what happens to the allocation in this chart of the community after the cut to subsequent JUP-related?
I think that I think we have to find other ways of doing it.
Okay.
Right? I mean, it makes no sense to me that we have to. I mean, the other is to obviously you can always burn it, right? You know, bro? But I think that will be. I do think that doing what's that? Sorry, what's that?
I said personally, I shouldn't give too much of my personal opinions. I feel like that'd be a bit of a missed opportunity. But yeah, there is that option, I guess.
Yeah, but this is a whole trust thing, right? You know, like if the community has to trust us that we will not abuse the assets under our management, right? You know what I'm saying, right? And by the way, they're also under externally controlled co-wallet, so we don't have to trust them, right? 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 But then similarly, I think we have to trust the community, right? If we say that, okay, we want to do things in a way that have max alignment, right? That actually means that, okay, that actually means that I think we have to trust the community that at some point we'll arrive at a solution that works for everybody.
That makes sense,
right? So, if not, then but if it fails and stuff, it doesn't mean that we burn it immediately or something. It means that I have to come back to them. You know what I'm saying, right?
With a new proposal, basically.
Yeah, with a new proposal. That's how it happens. Yeah,
makes sense. And then the second question I've seen. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go on.
The second question I've seen is people who just want to know, what are the potential downsides? I know there's a good JUP research forum post that goes through some of the pros and the cons, but maybe you could summarize just to kind of play devil's advocate. What is the downside to the supply?
I feel like for me, I think I put together this 30% number in a very specific sense, right? I feel like it would really remove a lot of the things that I think are not needed. For example, we did allocate a large chunk to the LP, right? I'm saying, which made sense way back, but it makes sense now, right? And similarly, I think cutting Jupiter by 30%, would actually also make it extremely significant, but also give more certainty, right? Essentially, I believe that the right approach now is to give more confidence, to the community. You know what I'm saying? That and I think this is a good signal, right? Yeah. And I think as for downside, I think certainly I think I think some people are about team, some people worry about team motivation, some people about team motivation, some people are worried about the lack of the ability to execute, right? I think we are good. I think we are good. I think we are good with this. Yeah, I think we will still have a lot of flexibility to execute on everything, but also be extremely motivated. I mean, I can tell one thing: the team is extremely motivated. We work extremely hard every day. So, yeah, I don't think it's a problem. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. But so basically, think about it, right? I think for example, ASR will come from committee results.
That's active stake and rewards for people that vote on the Jupiter proposals.
Yeah. So ASR come from committee results, or for example, DAO funding come from committee reserve as well. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. Was there anything else?
Sorry, go on.
Was there anything else at the bottom of the summary? If you can scroll down a little bit, let's just see.
Sure. I think the summary is actually really quite simple, right? It's like I think with the trainings that are done, again, this is part 1, right? The audit, the ethos, and also the reduction in supply. The whole goal here is that we hope the community emerge, right, from this vote with a much better understanding, of the collective plans for JUP, and be able to move forward together. Yeah. So that's the high level gist of it. Yeah.
Makes sense. I think it's important to kind of bring people in and help give them a sense of kind of ownership or buy-in into the decisions that are going to affect everybody in the JUP-verse, right? JUP is a resource for everybody. It's not just Meow's personal plaything, right? So I think it's important to have everyone come in. Love the way you worded this. Provide a best in crypto boomer level of transparency. I think that's a bar.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, okay, just I don't like being meat, right? Right? So it's like sorry, let me just pin my essay for a little bit. Right? So I don't like to be meat.
Yeah.
Right? No, right. So I feel like if we do things, we either go full degen or go full boomer. Right?
Barbell, man. Yeah.
What's that?
It's the barbell of degen and boomer.
That's the barbell thing, right? You either go full degen or go full boomer, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like in many cases, I feel like I feel like in many cases and stuff, if you see this community audit that we did, right, it's actually very, very thorough about so it's actually very thorough about point of mint, right? So guys, one thing that I'm very anal is either point of mint, right? Because if you don't actually have visibility from the point of mint and certainty about who goes to what, who gets what at point of mint, then it's actually really, really hard, right, to kind of track things moving forward, So we created this thing called the community audit, and we live stream it as well. Went through it, live stream it, and then we track the info outflows from minting wallets, with the JUP allocations, the events since the JUP launch, and what the current state is, and thankfully we did this, right? If we didn't do this, I wouldn't be able to do the token reduction properly, right? So yeah, so that's it. So we did that as well. So that's like this boomer stuff, and then our DJ mom is a DJ mom, but she's still a boomer, right? She has a boomer brain, so she's gonna do this she'll do this every 6 months, Yeah.
Very cool. Nice.
Cool. I think that's it for me. Any other questions? I know Cash need to run in a bit.
I do.
Yeah.
I think there's a question around what's going to happen with the unclaimed tokens from the last JUP-wary. I think there's something like 20 million or 30 million tokens there.
Actually, 200.
200, excuse me. 200.
Yeah, about 230. Yeah. So we don't know yet. But I can think of a few options for it. The most obvious option is to burn it.
Simple.
The second option is to put it into the community reserve. Yeah. My personal bias is burning it because I feel like that would actually be. I feel like it was slated for their use and it wasn't used and stuff. And then the community reserve does have tokens available, right, for ASR and everything. So my personal preference is to burn it. Yeah, but I think but we'll probably put it up for vote.
Okay,
as well.
That's cool.
Because again, the 50-50, it goes to the whole 50-50 principle, right? Like 50-50, right? It's like, if this 50-50 belongs to is managed by a team, right? I'm saying, right? Then what I'll do is that I'll communicate with as much clarity as I can about how to use it, right? But since this portion belongs to the community, so I think we'll probably have to do some kind of vote for that. Yeah, we'll probably gather feedback and do some kind of vote.
I think it could be cool to add it into ASR.
Cool that's this principle to think about stuff. Pretty cool, right?
I think it's pretty good, man. I think it's pretty good. Every once in a while, Meow, you have a nice idea. I got to give you credit on that. I think it'd be cool to maybe add that into ASR to like super juice it to reward more loyal Jupiter users. Could also be fun. But indeed, it'll be kind of up to the community on the vote side.
Yeah. I do actually think that the ASR, I do actually think there's enough tokens in the ASR to run the ASR and stuff. But of course, obviously, it's like it might change, right? Because the number of tokens, because as a lot more people might stake, so it might actually
500,000 plus wallets. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I think but again, I feel like I have preferences. I have preferences. And if it is within the managed by team thing, I would I'll do my best to present the case about when to do it, right? But since this belongs to the committee allocation, then it will be a case of it's not my decision, but I'll try to facilitate the discussion. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then maybe one last question here from Cryptic. Any plans on future airdrops and collaborations with other projects, maybe to help bring more awareness to Jupe?
I would say that there are a lot of projects doing airdrops that we can collaborate with and stuff. I think as of now, I think we'll be extremely focused on J4J, right? J4J, right? J4J means that Jupe is for the people who contribute or is involved in Jupe. As a voter, a nice diagram I have about Jupe, right?
5 points. the DAO working groups team.
Yeah, let me just pull it up real quick and stuff. I just real quick. I feel like it's a very important discussion stuff for
pull that one up. Any luck?
1 second. So
somebody asking, would the NFTs on the planetary calls take
go
part?
ahead. Here, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Really quick. Yeah, it's the one. Yeah. So isn't Dragon fantastic, right? So these are the papers, right? So I think J for J indicates that, okay, that we'll try to leverage the community portion, right? Get JUP in the hands of people who contribute JUP the most, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's about net positivity, right? It's okay. Like if we withdraw some tokens, right? From the if we distribute tokens from that pool, right? Does it add more value to the JUP, the ecosystem, and the JUP token holders, right? Than less, right? So that's like the general idea, of things. Yeah, but I love this diagram as well. This diagram is great. Along with 50/50, I think this is like awesome. Yeah,
it's one of the good ones. Cool.
All
right. Well, hopefully that helps kind of give some clarity around the proposal. It's going until Sunday night, if I'm not mistaken. Right? There's
Sunday, I don't know, like Sunday, yeah, Sunday morning, I think, whatever.
Sunday morning, maybe.
Basically 72 hours. Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing there'll be more Twitter Spaces, more opportunities for people to kind of talk about it. Leave any questions or thoughts on the JUP Research Forum in the Jupiter Discord. Obviously, there's a big discussion going on in there, and then hopefully we can answer some of those questions in the next day or two as well.
Yeah. So there'll be so the CWG and Suju and the team members will be doing a number of things. They'll be summarizing information. They'll be doing Twitter Spaces. They'll be doing things and everything. So I think it'll be fun. Yeah. For me, I'm wiped. I did 3 live streams in 3 days, going through and did the audit. I did the essay, and I did this proposal. I'm wiped, bro. I'm fucking wiped.
You deserve a little bit of rest, my guy. Are you? I mean, what time is it for you right now?
It's 2 a.m. Dude, I for guys who don't know and stuff, I actually pushed this call back by one and a half hours for this guy. All right, because he has a
I do appreciate it, brother. I do appreciate it. I told you didn't have to do it, but it's very sweet. Let it never be said that Meow doesn't look out for his buddies over here.
All right, guys. Okay, cool. Thank you. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
I think we're good.
Bye.
Seems like a plan. We'll see everybody in Discord and everywhere else. Goodbye.